Time to land in Berlin.
Okay, you can see the Telestraße. Nee. Still see the top of it.
Cool, they're going to start clapping that in a minute. I just had a moment there, just walking along and looking at a map and so on, stopped, turned around, and there was the Brandenburger Tor, the Brandenburg Gate, which is what I specifically wanted to see, and the whole reason it occurred to me to come to Berlin. And it caught me on the hop, made me quite emotional. I'm going to explain why when I turn around and you can actually see it for yourself. So here it is, the Brandenburger Tor. So back in November 1989, when everyone came streaming through the wall, my dad dragged me out of bed and said I had to come down and watch the news because history was happening, and it certainly was. And I can remember it quite clearly, and I can remember maybe a day or two later them saying on the news that, you know, and it was the first time I was aware of the Brandenburg Gate, you know, just saying that it was the first time in maybe 50 years that people could freely walk under there and through there. And I remember, and I was like 16, and I remember saying, one day I'll walk under there. Well, it's taken nearly 30 years for me to get to this point. I won't actually describe how I'm feeling right now, because you'll all laugh and so it pissed at me. But yeah, pretty big moment. So we've taken a little flight from Stansted this morning. We've been up since 1 o'clock to drive over there. First of all, a couple of hours, and then a load of time hanging around waiting. Then a delayed flight, so on, and then all manner of nonsense with the planes. Anyway, we've arrived here, arrived in Berlin, walking towards the hotel, and came around the corner, not in this bit, and spotted this building behind me, which is something that I'm finding really quite overwhelming. What we're looking at is something that was massively important, and that is the Reichstag. Burned down by Hitler, stormed by the Russians. You've all seen the famous photograph of the Russian soldier raising the red flag over the corner, you know, things like that. The Reichstag is another historic site, if you know what I mean. I've been to many. I've been to Pegasus Bridge and driven over Arnhem and the D-Day beaches and so on, but you know, all recent stuff, River Kwai Bridge and so on. But this is the first one that's had me sitting there going, fuck, it's the Reichstag. It really is. So here we are on top of the Reichstag, and behind me we can see the rest of Berlin. I'm looking along, and if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the right, those pillars, that's where the Soviet soldier with a red flag is photographed by Kaldai back in April or May 1945. That's where that historic photo was. The second kind of pillar away from me is the one which the Soviet soldiers were on, raising the flag, sort of fourth from the actual building part of it. Looking down, you can see just over here is the Brandenburger Tor, and of course the wall ran along here. This is a memorial made up of a load of empty bookshelves, as this is Bebelplatz, where in 1933, 10th of May, the Nazis burnt the books. We've got the Humboldt University. So we're in the historic centre of Berlin, Gerndermenmaarkt, however it's pronounced. There's the concert house. We've got a French cathedral and another one and all the rest of it. It's very, very nice architecture. Obviously we missed with our Lancasters, but that's probably a good thing, because they're nice buildings there.
Ich bin ein Berliner. Ich bin ein Berliner.